but I was going to go on another rampage complaining about my subreddit, and I saw this just while looking around. It's a post recommending Beau of the Fifth Column, which I agree with. That's cool. Yeah, you should watch Beau of the Fifth Column. He's great at what he does. He's good at what he does. But anyway, I scrolled down a bit to hold on. I get this dude's stuff recommended a lot. As someone who doesn't watch Vosh, typical Vosh V commentator, is this guy worth a watch? Absolutely. You sound like a liberal, but Beau has great videos. I'm a self-identified social democrat, so I suppose I am a liberal in some ways. And the OP response, I read that as, I'm a self-identified identified liberal, so I suppose I am a liberal in some ways. And they have minus 21 points. The idea of a social democrat being a liberal is now like a mass downvote situation on my subreddit. They're getting called extremely online for saying that a social democrat is a liberal. But they're right? Of course they're right. A social democrat is objectively a liberal. Delete the subreddit? Dude, oh man, dude. I'm gonna like delete the sub. Holy shit. Incredible. Depends on your definition of liberal. The correct definition. So pro-civil liberties, pro-democracy, pro-fair government. Yes, anti-revolutionary and a willingness to reform the system as opposed to tackling its core issues, as ignorant of or opposed to democracy of the workplace. This is definitionally true. I prefer reform, yes, as almost every influential person alive does. Reform can absolutely tackle core issues. Not sure what you mean by democracy of the workplace. Vosh V. Oh my god. And they're the one getting the upvotes? Why? Why? Yeah, sure, Annie, but like, holy shit. It's not just like one person or whatever. It's like the tendency of the sub. Oh my god. Yeah, there needs to be a rule where every post has to be about me or the stream specifically. So you're like proving it has to. Every post has to have a timestamp to a stream VOD, so you can be like in reference to this event. You know. Oh man. You want to change the rules? Don't ask me right now, Tempest. You ask me right now, I'll just delete the sub. You guys, we'll talk about it later. Wouldn't you say socialism can go alongside liberalism or serve as a revision of it? No. Socialism, the abolition of capitalism and the bourgeois class. These are fundamental to liberalism. Capitalism is the liberal economic doctrine. You could argue socialism is like an improvement or a positive iteration of liberalism, but like it's not. Social democrats are liberals. They're definitionally liberals. Anyway, let's complain about the sub. Okay. So I did a ramble on stream that lasted like an hour where I talked about how I don't really have any faith in the UK Labour Party and said like I don't really know, like maybe vote Lib Dem, like I don't know which one's worse, like with regards to the Tories or the Labour Party. Now, normally what I do when people dislike me and are mad at me over stuff like this is I read my own subreddit posts because people are smug and wrong here and it makes me feel like I'm right. You know what I mean? Like if you see a person disagreeing with something that you've said and they mischaracterize you, it gives you the impression of like, ah, okay, so the people who disagree with you are idiots. So, you know, it's like it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean anything. I don't have much conviction with the UK position, which is why I said stuff like I don't know maybe 50,000 times during that segment. But yeah, I took a look at this. I guess I'm just like waiting for the real argument or something. Vosh doesn't understand how the UK's voting system works. In a recent video, he said UK lefties should vote Lib Dem since the UK, quote, is a parliamentary system. You can vote for other parties, as opposed to America's first-past-the-post system. This is insanely incorrect, though, as he's inflating their system of governance with their voting system. The UK is a notoriously inefficient first-past-the-post system, just like the US. I know. In fact, I said that in the segment. But in a parliamentary system, multiple parties can form coalitions. That's the difference. Like, the Lib Dems and Labour can form coalitions to form a majority in parliament. That's the difference. That is a difference. I can't listen to Vosh talk about UK politics. He's so misinformed, seems unwilling to bother to learn anything about actual politics in the UK. Dude, bongers are so mad that they live in a dying country. The edit? What edit? Vorsh, if you read this on stream, please don't bully me, I'll come. God damn it! Too late there, I suppose. The Lib Dems were literally in a coalition with the Tories for years. Yeah, but right now, I think it's pretty clear that the Lib Dems would be incentivized to coalition with the Labour Party rather than the... Am I wrong on that? My impression from the current state of affairs was that if the Lib Dems had the ability to form a deciding coalition, they would definitely do it with the Labour Party. over the over the Tories. That's my impression. If I'm wrong on that, then I'm wrong on that. Like with some takes on things, he wants to have opinions known, but also wants to be edgy, so sort of half jokes about everything, and he comes up with a misinformed argument that doesn't work. A really good way of knowing that people don't have an argument against you is that the people complaining about your take usually just have like generic, incoherent counter arguments that don't specifically refer to anything that you've said. I saw this on my email too. I like woke up and there were emails from people who were like, "You don't know anything." Well, what don't I know? This was actually the most insufferable, brain dead Vosh video I've ever seen, and it was really painful to sit through as someone from the UK. He claims the Labour Party undermined Corbyn, just outright ignore the fact that UK political parties have always had factions and sub-factions in conflict with one another. Yeah, dude, it's totally normal for the right-wing sub-faction of a political party to deliberately throw an election by exacerbating claims of anti-Semitism. This isn't just like this isn't just like factional infighting. This is like stabbing. This is like literally shooting the party in the foot because you don't want the more left-leaning person to win as the current head of your party. This isn't like like the Dems have factional infighting, but the comparable equivalent of this would have been like if Bernie Sanders had won the primary, and then in response, a bunch of like neoliberals and Clintonites within the Democratic Party had started like lying and leaking shit to deliberately destroy their own chance of winning the presidency. Now, would that have happened? I don't think so. Maybe. I doubt it, though. But if it did happen, then that would have been like the comparable thing. And I think that would have been worthy of criticism. Anyway, I have seen this one, and there's something here that's really, really incredible, okay? Please listen to this. The fact is, the UK has imported the US's culture wars now, except we're a few years behind, and most of the UK isn't that liberal on trans issues. They're a vote loser, not a vote winner. If Labour or anyone else is going to successfully improve that area, they have to do it quietly once in power, as campaigning on it will only reduce the chance of being able to improve anything. Holy shit. We have now reached the it is okay to perpetuate a genocidal culture war against trans people because if you don't do that, then actually you have no chance of winning. First of all, is there any evidence that the Labour Party is getting some kind of cred for like pulling hard right on this issue and agreeing with the conservative narrative that trans women aren't women and they pose a threat to like cis women in women's spaces? So they were already ahead before this recent Keir Starmer business. Like, is there any reason to believe that? And it's not just Keir Starmer being a coward. Can you imagine this? Like, well, you know, racism is still a big issue, and race issues are still like a big culture war thing. So yeah, the only way to like improve things on race is actually stay quiet about it, be publicly racist, but quietly advocate anti-racist reform once you're in power. What is with my sub, man? Genuinely, what is with my sub? Shitting on Blair and Blairists for being centrists, not right-wing Jesus guys neither Blair nor Starmer are right of center is a brain-dead take. We're defending Blair. We're defending Blair. We have reached the defending Tony Blair section of this second highest upvoted post in this thing. It seems your sub is full of optics frogs. No, they're full of liberals. It's just liberals. Blair isn't the best, but like the entire country supported Iraq. It's not just the Iraq war. Blair is like holistically terrible. Blair is like the UK equivalent of Bill Clinton, where you have a ostensibly left-wing party captured by the right's economic perspective and fronting as like the sensible progressive alternative while actually conceding meaningful economic issues over to the right. He's way worse than Clinton. That's true. He's way worse than Clinton. The only good things that Blair did were devolution and minor reforms of the House of Lords. Well, I mean, like Clinton, he probably did a lot of good stuff during his time. Like, that's the thing. Clinton got a lot done during his 2 terms. The criticism of Clinton is not from a like he didn't improve the country thing, because he did. I mean, his predecessor was Bush Sr. He did a better job than Bush Sr., you know, but he essentially like undercut all meaningful like aspirational left advocacy. It's like peak neoliberalism, right? Like nothing can ever change. Bosch trying to have shit takes in politics outside the US challenge. Dude does literally zero research on a topic yet talks with such authority. Guys, how many times during that segment did I literally say, I don't know, I'm not sure? Probably maybe 3 digits. People just like being mad at me. I don't know. For me, it's he's always been lazy and arrogant, but there's very little self-doubt now. I'm going to VidCon tomorrow. I think when I come back, I might purge the sub like completely. I wonder, I might think of like rule sets to actually make this a subreddit that's in some way related to the channel and not just this this like trash heap. I don't want like an unironic no liberals rule, but holy shit, that would improve things. Another instance of the sub being legit anti-socialist. Main sub is a liberal infested hellhole. Rent is theft, profit is theft, interest that looks not complicated. Extreme oversimplification. Me quitting my job and moving to the woods so I don't steal people's money. Is this my sub? If I build the house, is rent still theft? It doesn't even read like it's my sub. Yeah, that's fair, Annie. Vosh, I mean, you're smart in other liberal democracies and their shit. People are so damn misguided. Well, I mean, leaving aside, like, I guess the British thing specifically, it's just, the problem is that Vosh V is, like, one of the... So the problem is, and this has been getting a lot worse, is that there aren't many good places to be left-leaning on Reddit. There are, like, the most basic left-leaning liberal subreddits, like, I don't know, white people Twitter, right? Where it's, like, being liberal, that, like, by left-leaning here, I mean literally, like, midline centrist Democrat voter. And then you have the leftist subs that are almost every one of them just controlled by red fascists. Like, and they have nothing going on in their lives except purging anyone who's not a literal Stalinist. And 196 sucks now because, I'm sorry guys, after they reopened, after they did the Reddit shutdown, now they've reopened. They are just a horny subreddit for hypersexual, like, trans youth. And that's it. Like, it's all, like, 19-year-old trans femmes horny posting. That's it. The political veneer, the wit, it's gone now. So there's none of that, you know. So I think the problem is that there's basically no place where you can be what some people might consider, like, a reasonable left-leaning person. So my sub gets a lot of that. But you're not wanted, okay? All right, listen, I'm building a wall. We don't want you here. Sorry. Migrants, you're going to have to go somewhere else. It is a Vosh subreddit. It needs to be for Vosh-related content. And we will not suffer this liberalism. Thoughts on r/anarchism? There's not a real community there. Dementia, if you think there's any comparison, it's because you haven't seen 196.